Hi everybody, welcome to AdColony's second webinar in our series of webinars on marketing to at-home consumers. So last time we spent a bit of time digging into consumer behaviour and how it had changed as a result of the COVID-19 situation and consumers spending more time at home. This session is going to be about converting those insights into actionable stuff that you can do as part of your marketing or advertising campaigns, how to reach, talk to, engage with at-home consumers, and of course, especially across mobile gaming, where we're seeing so much of an uplift in consumer usage. So I'm Tom Simpson, I'm VP APAC for AdColony, and we've got Mitch here as well. Say hi, Mitch.
Hey guys, good afternoon, good morning.
Good. We will, today's session, we will run through our playbook presentation, and once the playbook has finished, we will be doing a mini pop quiz, and there will be some very exciting prizes. I don't know what the prizes are yet, I haven't seen them, but I've been told that they're exciting, so that's definitely a good thing. Also, during the webinar, you are able to ask questions at any time using the Q&A function in the conferencing software. Any questions that you ask, we will collect them up, and at the end, we will have time for a Q&A where we will deal with any questions as you're going along, and also you have the opportunity to ask questions live. All right, so that sounds pretty good. So here we go, AdColony, marketing to at-home consumers, the playbook. Just wanted to start by recapping some of the insights from our consumer research across Asia Pacific. So the first thing, you know, we're in a work from home world, so 70% of consumers are working from home. Game of phones, 55% increase in users saying they play mobile games multiple times a day. Game changer, 67% of respondents have added new games on their smartphones since the beginning of March. Been a big switch to online shopping, with 66% of respondents having purchased something online in the past 2 weeks. And 80% or more consumers across all markets are, you know, looking for brands to continue communicating during this time. We also saw how consumer behavior had changed as a result of the COVID-19 situation, with broadly more time being spent across a series of categories. So certainly more time being spent on mobile gaming, a lot more time being spent on video streaming and OTT. Social media as well has seen an increase in use, and online shopping. So a new online shopping window has actually opened in the morning, where we're seeing consumers spending time on online shopping first thing. We've also seen gaming top the charts across APAC. If we look at the app stores in almost every market across Asia Pacific, then mobile gaming apps are at the top of those stores. The only exceptions are New Zealand and China, but there are still a large number of mobile gaming apps in the top 10 and top 20, and it's the same all across Asia Pacific. And as we touched on, buying online is on the rise. 49% are looking to purchase even groceries and household items online, and 24% will shift purchases from offline to online. We've updated these, some of this research, and we just wanted to look at how this has developed over the past month. I mean, the key things that we've pulled out, there's a continued rise in smartphone usage. So smartphone usage across Asia Pacific has increased another 8% since we surveyed consumers a month ago. So huge increases again in smartphone usage. And I think one of the other key stats is that a lot of consumers are seeing the changes that had been that we highlighted in the last research around additional streaming, more time online shopping, playing more mobile games. A lot of consumers are beginning to see these as permanent changes to their lifestyle. So if we look at this chart, the grey bars in the background are the reach of these activities across Asia Pacific. So as an example, in online streaming, you can reach around 60–70% of the market. In mobile gaming, you can reach around 70–80% of consumers in a market, depending on the generation. But a huge number of those consumers are seeing this increased time and increased engagement with different media channels as a permanent behavior change. So 25%, 1 in 4 Gen Z and millennials see playing more games as a permanent change to their lifestyle. Similarly, we can look at streaming, 23%, listening to more streaming services, around 18–20%. And that real increase in focus around mobile gaming comes through so strongly. I mean, we looked at how mobile games are topping the app stores across Asia Pacific. But this is just looking at the share of all app downloads across Asia Pacific over the last 30 days. So we'd already seen an increase a month ago. Now it's really becoming embedded. So 38% of all app downloads over the past 30 days are mobile gaming apps. And the next popular categories, tools 5%, social 5%. So gaming really dominating consumer time spent. Consumers feel it's a permanent change in behavior, and consumers downloading so many apps. I just wanted to put a bit of color around that. So large increase in DAUs on Ludo King in India. We see huge volumes of user activity on Ludo King in India. It's a very, very popular game and continues to be somewhere near the top of the charts. Gardenscapes is a extremely popular game in Indonesia. So we've seen a 54% jump in DAUs on Gardenscapes over the past month. My Talking Tom continues to be extremely popular in Vietnam, and it's among the top 5 casual games, and an increase in users. And Fishdom is the second most popular puzzle game in Singapore. So DAUs on Fishdom increased around 20%. So just some color there around the specific mobile games that consumers are playing. I just wanted to touch quickly again on how consumers are feeling about advertising and approval on advertising. So we've got some different audiences here, and we asked them how they feel about advertising, should brands continue advertising, and what sort of things they wanted to hear from brands, and what kind of experiences did they want to engage with. So across the board, more than 80% of consumers still feel that brands should continue advertising. And, you know, I would say anecdotally, we have seen most brands, after an initial shock and re-strategizing, most brands have continued to invest in advertising. And there's been some really exciting campaigns and some great and innovative creative out there during this period. Consumers, 90% of consumers want helpful advertising, so advertising that connects to online shopping experiences or that provides information. Consumers, similarly, more than 90% across all categories want light-hearted advertising. I think we've moved from a period at the beginning of the COVID-19 crisis where most TV ads were pictures of empty streets with a mournful piano solo playing in the background. I think consumers are kind of feeling that that's something that they want to put behind them. It's now about being a little bit more light-hearted and a little bit more about getting into the new normal. We're all in this together. Where, you know, consumers are at home. There's no need to dwell on the some of the more negative aspects of it. So consumers definitely feel light-hearted advertising is good, and interactive advertising. Consumers have got tons of time to spend with you and your brand. So if you give them engaging, interactive experiences or playable ads, then consumers will spend time with that. And we've seen, 90 as high as 95, 96% are looking for interactive advertising, something to provide entertainment. Okay, so I'm going to hand over to Mitch here, and Mitch is going to take you through how we connect some of those insights and mobile gaming behavior to the purchase journey for at-home consumers, and also how we put a lens of mobile gaming over the top of that. Mitch.
Thanks, Tom. Hey guys, thanks for joining us today. So yeah, like Tom mentioned, we're going to be running through how do we market and reach these at-home consumers given the new phase of life that we are in, hopefully temporarily. But yes, how do we reach these people through mobile gaming? So when we look at the purchase journey and marketing for the at-home consumer, we realize that it's a non-linear approach that we need to take. Yes, we have the regular awareness, consideration, conversion, and retention parts of the purchase funnel. But what we need to understand is how these same phases have now changed over the course of consumers now being primarily at home. So when we look at the journey of a user, yes, they may see the regular ad that they would have. And this then moves them into one of the next two phases which is in the consideration phase, which is they either would explore your ad further, if you had more interactivity within the ad, or if you had more information available, which is more than just a standard display ad or a video ad. If you had different layers of information available with your ad, that's when they would either check out more information that's available, or they would then move on to the brand's page, read through the content, and try to understand more about it. In either scenario, then when they were deciding on this, on the product that they were seeing on the ad that was influencing them, they would then move on to the next phase, which is to basically search more about the product, read online reviews. Now, this is more of an independent step that they take when they are convinced about the brand and the product. So they would then look at what others are saying about this as well. And this would then move into the conversion phase where you're looking at one of multiple different options. Now, yes, in the traditional phase, we would have people walking into the store to purchase something that they like. But like Tom mentioned earlier, also we are seeing an increasing trend of people staying at home and shopping online. And what can we do as marketers to help them reach these two stages is to incentivize their purchase as well. So by adding that layer in between as well, we are giving consumers more of an incentive to either go online or walk into the store if possible and purchase the product that we are advertising. And all in what we're looking at is a better deal that consumers want from brands. Now, this is not just a monetary deal that consumers are looking for. It would also be a functional benefit that they're looking for, or even an emotional benefit that consumers are looking for brands to contribute in their day-to-day lives. So moving ahead, we look at the purchase funnel and how we are redefining this for the at-home consumer. So yes, we have the regular phases of awareness, consideration, conversion, and retention. But what we need to understand is that now this has changed a little bit. When we are talking about awareness, it is more about making the consumer aware that your brand is available in the market. Given the shortage that brands are facing in distribution, in production, with lockdowns being implemented in many countries, and global borders being closed, there are a lot of shortfalls that are being faced everywhere. So awareness in this scenario is more about making consumers known making it known to consumers that you are there in the market. And like we're seeing as well, 87% are not aware which brands are and are not available in the market. So I mean, they go over there with looking for your brand, but it's always better to make it known that you are available in the market. Similarly, when we're talking about consideration as well, we're talking about making things relevant for the at-home consumers. So we see that 84% are looking for brands that would make their at-home life easier. So this is, what we are looking at consideration as a phase to deliver to the at-home consumer. And when we talk about conversion, it's more of something that is a convenience for the user rather than a desire for them at this point of time. So we need to make the purchase convenient, and we need to be making their lives convenient as well through the products that we are offering. So yes, online purchase does play a big part in this role, in this phase as well. And when we're talking about retention, yes, we need to be keeping the users involved with the brand. And we also see that 86% of users feel that brands should go beyond the functional value that they add in a user's life. So like we were talking about earlier, more than just the monetary or emotional monetary value, they need to go beyond that to probably a functional and emotional value as well. Moving ahead, so how we are looking at this is, through a mobile gaming lens. What we've done is we've identified key segments of the audience and classified them into different types of gamers. So if you look at the different types of gamers, you have a casual gamer, you have a social gamer, creative gamer, a competitive gamer, and an explorer. So what do these type of gamers really do, and how are they relevant for brands? So a casual gamer are mostly older females, so between the age of 29 to 45 years, and they usually play mobile games for a break. They take some time out from their day whenever they have some free time in between. That's when they play mobile games. Social gamers are more the younger females. So now these are the ones who play games with real life friends. So these are online games, and they do this to stay connected with each other. A creative gamer, on the other hand, is somebody who likes to play role playing games or fantasy games, and they use this as like an outlet for themselves and an expression of their creativity as well. A competitive gamer, I mean, it's pretty obvious just looking at that picture over there that this is somebody who is really in it. He is mostly going to be a young male, and they are extremely competitive. They're looking to continue their scoring streak, win trophies, compete with friends, and they're always at it when it comes to the score that they're trying to achieve, or the achievements that they're trying to unlock within different games that they play. An explorer is both male and female, and they like to learn different skills. They like to try out new games. They like to explore what is trending out there in the market right now. Maybe they've heard about it from a friend, maybe they've seen an ad for it, or maybe they've read about these kind of games online. But yes, an explorer is the type of gamer who will keep trying out new things. So what is the relevance of these different types of gamers? So what we've done is we've mapped these different gamers that we've seen to the purchase funnel. And also what we've done is we've mapped the insights that we have identified among these different types of gamers, and how marketers and brands can actually reach out to them through the different types of communication that there are, and that AdColony as well has to offer. So we'll be taking you through each one of these phases as well, and explaining how it is what relevant communication we should be using to reach that particular type of gaming audience. So coming into the framework, the first phase like we have is awareness, and usually brand KPIs here are reach or completed views and engagement. So what we do is we begin with a couple of insights. And when we're talking about insights, we've seen many times before, and it's not just through our webinar, but through all companies across the board that are talking that 40% users in APAC are playing more mobile games now than ever before. And this is a common trend, not just in APAC, but globally as well. Another key insight that we've observed is that the stories format of impressions, which is a very social style of presenting, is also on the growth. So that's grown by 21% in APAC. A lot of users are preferring interactive ad formats rather than just your static ads. And being the festive time of Ramadan also right now, 82% of users are also concerned about not being able to meet family and friends during these festive periods. So how do we go about this? How do we reach out to these consumers and generate awareness in this purchase funnel? So there are a number of ad formats that we've suggested. A couple of them we'll be highlighting over here going forward. So there are playable ads, there are interactive videos, the AdColony stories, there is real-time polling and augmented reality as well. So if we look at playable ads, so a playable ad is essentially just what it is. It's a brand themed game. So what happens here is that your ad is a game itself, and you theme this with your brand, like how you're looking over here at Kinder Joy. So this is a mini game which is your ad itself, and after the user has finished playing or achieving the target that you want them to achieve, that's when you take them to the next stage and explain to them about the product and give them more information about it. So it's a very fun interactive way of communicating with your user. The same goes for interactive video. So this is now taking interaction to the next stage, where it's not just a rich media that you have, but as you can see, the video is playing and you also have a layer of interactivity that plays over that. So as the video plays, you can ask the user to tap the screen to interact with the ad, or you can ask the user to wipe the mist or the steam that is forming on the screen when it's a brand of Nescafe. The same thing can be applied to different brands in different ways. You can have a shake function, you can have a tap function. A number of interactivity elements can be added to an ad to engage with your user. And like we were saying, the stories format is something that's gaining traction nowadays. So I'm sure you all would recognize how this looks. And the key thing over here when we look at stories format, is that it's looping. And what we can do is, with the shortage of elements and resources and assets available nowadays, with lockdowns all across the board, these kind of videos and stories can be created in-house by AdColony and our creative team. And we can repurpose whether a visual element is there in terms of display or video and audio, combine it all together, use some stock imagery that's available for purchase, and combine it all together to create a nice story to reach out to the consumer. Moving ahead, people are also sitting at home. They have a lot of time on their hands, so real time polling does help with yeah, with communicating with users what others are doing out there, what others are watching, and it does help giving them suggestions as well. So this bases a live poll, like you can see over here, when you see that majority people are watching crime shows, and you click on that as well, what you would like to watch, you get a recommendation of all the other crime shows that you can watch on Netflix as a genre. And augmented reality is definitely something that's really picking up. Brands are using a lot more nowadays. So this is an example how even an audio brand like Spotify would use augmented reality. So when you create a playlist, you can have a playlist for driving, for when you're going out partying to a pub, or even when you're going out for a jog. So basis the environment that you select, your playlist changes, as well as you can see the background changes as well. So you can add this augmented reality layer to your ad to give the user a better experience and engagement as well. And we definitely cannot forget the fact that now people are staying distant from their family during this festive period and all. So we need to have reasons to celebrate. We should be spreading a message of positivity. So by companies engaging in corporate in CSR and making donations, that's how you interact with users. And like we've seen earlier as well, people are looking for positive messages out there. They are tired of all the doom and gloom news that they've been hearing constantly. So they are looking for positivity in their life, especially during this holy month. So just to recap what we've seen in the awareness phase. So yes, we need to have different types of ads communicating as per the gaming audience that we've identified. So for casual gamers, we should have regular advertising where we can make custom TVCs for their. For social gamers, yes, that correlates very well to the AdColony Stories product that we have, since they like social centric ads as well. For creative gamers, we should stick to light-hearted content while keeping the humor sensitive. Competitive gamers, we have interactive ads like we've seen, where we add the layer of interactivity over your standard video. And for the explorer, we can have practical information and how-to videos. Moving on to the next phase, we have consideration. So in the consideration phase, what we're trying to push users towards and get them to see is, to make them more likely to buy, make them more likely to go beyond that awareness phase. So what we've noticed is that 85% consumers are more likely to buy a product when there is a product video that's associated with it. Free trials and ideas for things to do at home are also things that help push the consumer in this push the consumer forward in this consideration phase. And there are a couple of ad formats as well that we've suggested, which we'll take you all through. And this helps achieve brand KPIs like engagement and time spent on your ad unit as well. So just to go forward with what we suggest during to reach the users in the consideration phase. So custom videos, just to highlight what a custom video is, again, I mean, it's videos that can be created from stock by us. AdColony does offer this kind of service where we take your stock imagery, we take your stock videos, we combine it together, and we add our own layer of creativity on it as well, whether interactivity or whether visually, and we can create a custom video for you all to help continuously reach customers during this phase. Add to home screen is a very efficient way of always staying top of mind. So CultFit is a fitness brand based out of India, and what we do is we click to add the button to home screen so that it remains on your home screen as a shortcut, and the user has access to you and your services at any point in time that they wish. Free trials are also key during this period because people are hesitant to probably try out new things. So when we offer free samples along with what we're doing, what we are selling out there, it comes across as an efficient way to reach users and get them to try your product before committing to a long-term or higher value purchase. And showcasing your product variants, I mean, this, I mean, goes by default that it is something that's important. But when we have efficient and very engaging and attractive ways of doing that, that makes it all the more enticing to users. So if you're looking at this Fitbit ad over here, you can not only select the different color variants that we have to offer, that the product has to offer, but you can even check out a 360 of the product as the ad plays and continues to play in the background. So this adds that layer of interactivity in a different way to the video as compared to what we've seen earlier. So it really engages the user with the product and the brand, and it takes them to that next stage of the purchase funnel even more efficiently. And how to videos, this goes without saying, you know, that the more people know, the better informed they are, the more likely they are to purchase your brand and your product. So at a time like this, when people are a bit hesitant to order food from outdoors from a restaurant, uh, Food Panda has taken the step of, you know, showing like a product gallery and a step-by-step guide on how their food is handled, how the packaging is handled, and how people can be safe and rest assured that everything is handled in the most efficient manner without probably infecting anyone. So yeah, just summarizing this phase as well. So to reach casual gamers, we have who are, you know, more interested in safety and health, we have testimonials. For reaching social gamers, we have coupons. For reaching creative gamers, we have the loyalty rewards. And for competitive gamers, we have discounts. And for explorers, we have the gallery with different variants that are shown over there, since that's where their interest lies. Moving on to the next phase, which is the conversion phase. So over here, I mean, here you're actually trying to drive the end purchase to the customer. So this can either be taking them to an e-commerce page, taking them to your own brand website where they can buy the product, or maybe even install an application or click on your ad. All of these are the ultimate objective that you're trying to achieve. And what we've seen in terms of insights is that 57% of users have purchased something online in the last 2 weeks. So now this, I mean, obviously has picked up very highly since people are staying indoors and are trying to avoid going out as much as possible. And in addition to this, you know, being indoors with companies on lockdown, fewer customer service staff available to answer your queries, they also are looking at seamless customer support. They want loyal, like rewards for being loyal, and they want discounts from brands as well. And also they don't want to be waiting in lines at stores for any services that they're trying to purchase or acquire. So looking at shoppable ads, so now this may be your standard video that will be playing, but what we can do to this is also add that layer of interactivity where the user can see the different products that are on screen, create their own cart or wish list of products that they would like to purchase. And then through this same channel, they can also add, remove items from the wish list that they have created while watching this video. And then this would then progress onto them moving on to your website and purchasing the end product that you are advertising. So like you're seeing over here, these were the 3 products that they had added to their cart while watching the video. Now clicking on any of these buttons where you see the buy button, that would take them to the respective page where they could go and complete their purchase. And like we said, people are looking for seamless customer support. So creating chatbots is another very efficient way of communicating with customers. So you may ask them what they're looking for, they will communicate with you, you give them different options, and that can ultimately take you to the phase where you are suggesting a product that is most relevant for them that they can go ahead and purchase. So this is the example of Udemy that we are showing over here, and how it has suggested the appropriate course for the user that's interacting with the ad. And leaderboards and coupons, these go without saying as things that are extremely efficient at interacting with users. So you have to have a leaderboard, you would need a mini game. So the user plays this game, they try and play the ring toss game to toss the ring over the Cadbury product, and they get 5 chances. After that, they enter their credentials to participate in the competition. And as you can see on the right, the leaderboard is also there, where they can see what their standing is, and they also have a coupon code that they can then copy and use to purchase their product. Another important point that we notice in this stage is to display non-peak hours and probably even allow users to make bookings. So this is an example of how there are different types of doctors available in Indonesia, and you can actually search for the type of doctor that you want to visit. You can find their location on the map, and then go ahead and even check out their operational hours. You can even select the time that you'd want to go over there and get information about non-peak hours, so that you can visit without having to wait in a queue. Because like we know, people would rather spend as less time outdoors as possible, especially when they're going to places like doctors or hospitals. So yeah, in the same way, the same thing can be adapted for grocery stores, for supermarkets, and for any other chains where there are going to be large groups of people that are present. So summarizing this, yes, for casual gamers, we have the reduced waiting time. For creative gamers, we have free delivery and gamified rewards. And then we also have the online buying and better deals for competitive gamers and explorers as well. Coming into the final stage of the retention part of the channel. So users want rewards for loyalty, they want value for money, they want value added content as well as you need to keep going back to them with new varieties or improved variants to keep them retained with your brand, keep them coming back for more. So engagement and time spent with your brand are key in this part of the purchase funnel. And when you're talking about rewards that you can give them, exclusive passes are one form. So this is an example of how Bacardi has given users passes to events uh, to keep them involved with what they're doing. So now there are a lot of brands that are also doing online concerts. So that's one way of doing it. So by sending in their picture, you can download your exclusive pass to attend this event. The same goes for membership rewards as well. So the more you buy, the more rewards you get. So you can have your ad explaining to the user how they can participate in this, what kind of rewards are there, what kind of prizes are there, and basically what's the points conversion as well. So the more you buy, you start to accumulate points. And as you're accumulating these points, you can then redeem them for different kinds of rewards in the product brochure that the brand would have. So this is a very efficient way of keeping keeping users engaged and involved with brands. And in video coupon is also another very efficient way. So if you can see the timeline at the bottom as the video progresses, you have a spot basis, which when the user reaches there, they are then eligible to get a coupon, which they can then use to redeem against the product that they want to purchase. So it's very simple. All they need to do is click on that button, copy the coupon, it gets copied to their clipboard, and they can use this to paste it anywhere, whether it's in the brand's mobile website or the application, or maybe an e-commerce app as well. It's already on the clipboard of your device, so you just need to go over there and paste the coupon code to be eligible for this kind of a discount. And the final one that we have is how do we showcase the different variants that brands have. So, I mean, there are obviously ways that we need to keep in mind that are sensitive to users, but yes, keeping them engaged with the brand, coming up with more relevant and interesting products that are tailored to them, that is what we need to be focusing on now. So depending on what the users need is, they can now select the different type or variant of Lifebuoy hand wash that is available, or Lifebuoy product that is available, basically, and keep them loyal to your brand and keep them coming back for more. So just summarizing the final stage, which is retention. For casual gamers, you have your rewards. For social gamers, you have your CSR driven notifications that can be given to them. For creative gamers, you have functional benefits that they are looking for. And for competitive gamers, we have better deals and promos that we need to offer them. And finally, for explorers, we have the quality seeker who we can then communicate with using chatbots. So just to wrap up where we are, I'll hand this over to Tom now, and he'll just summarize what we've spoken about and take you all through the final stage.
Okay, excellent. Thanks, Mitch, for walking us through that framework for how to think about mobile gaming consumers in the at-home purchase funnel. And I'm trying to get us on to the next slide. We talked earlier on about how some consumers are seeing their changes in media habits or increase of usage in certain media channels as, you know, becoming a permanent aspect of their lives. And I think there are some broader cultural shifts that we're seeing playing out right now with consumers, and that may become more prominent in society. And there are potentially opportunities here for brands to lead. And I think some of these shifts, it's from buying what is needed to prudent consumption. It's moving from e-commerce being a growing fulfillment channel, distribution channel, to e-commerce being the primary mode of purchase. Moving from unwinding at home to really living at home. And I think the smart home environment will be a big part of that, where we take much more control over our home environment. A great trend here, and something that we all feel, I think, being part of this continent, the rise of Asia to Asia first. I think Asia led us into this situation. We saw the impact first in Asia, but I also think that Asia is best positioned to lead the world out of this crisis. Economies are broadly more robust, and I think we will see an acceleration of the pivot to Asia trend. A move from brands operating independently to brands operating as members of society, being good corporate citizens, and a move from relativism and fake news to science as authority. We can but hope. So just wrapping it up, what should brands do to address the fluid times and shifts in consumer behaviour? The three recommendations that we made last time, you know, still still as relevant as ever. The first, stay in touch, remain calm and continue your communication engagement with consumers in the right tone of voice. Second, move with consumers. So, you know, consumers are spending more time with mobile gaming, online video, whatever it is. You need to shift your media and marketing activity to ensure that you're shifting with changing consumer behavior. And the third part of it is focus on engagement. So consumers have more time than ever to spend with your brand. So don't waste it with static, flat creative. Give consumers the opportunity to interact, to play with you, to engage with your brand, to spend time learning about you. And if you give consumers an interesting, engaging experience, then they will spend that time with you right now. And we looked in the last study at how there's been such an increase in engagement with interactive formats across our platform. It's a real consumer trend that we're seeing coming through. And I just wanted to finish by spotlighting this mobile gaming brand framework. This is our view of how audiences across mobile gaming work. We have casual players, social players, people who play for creative purposes, competitors, and explorers. And by thinking about the mobile gaming audience in this way, we can understand how to interact with them, how to engage with them, and where and the right context in which to reach them within a smartphone mobile gaming environment, and how to use that knowledge to drive them down the brand funnel from awareness to consideration to conversion, and then dealing with retention. Okay, so that's it from us today. Thank you very much.